just when we share some stories.
Who you talking about, the Big L story?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. I was going to bring that up because, they got Big L fans, but, we grew up with him. It was a time that Mase was telling me, and I got to the block late that day. Yo, Big L just tried to get us robbed.
Tried to get me robbed.
So Big L tried to get you robbed. How did that go? How did that work? Or why do you even think that happened?
I mean, the first, I got to go back to the first time. So the first time.
Hold on, he tried to get you robbed on numerous occasions.
I mean, if you go online right now, you'll see a story about Fat Joe talking about how.
In a shocking revelation that has sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, Mase breaks his silence on a betrayal that has haunted him for years. Big L, the legendary lyricist whose untimely death still resonates, is now at the center of a scandal involving an alleged setup. Mase, known for his smooth flow and iconic tracks, steps into the spotlight to expose the dark truth behind this treachery. But can Big L really be involved in a sinister plot against Mase? Join us as we unravel the mystery and delve into the secrets that could change hip-hop history forever. But before that, don't forget to subscribe. Now, let's get into the saga. When it comes to sharing stories, there's one big one that's been floating around. The story about Big L trying to set up Mase. This tale has been whispered in the streets, but now it's time to lay it all out. Mase was telling a story about a time he got to the block late. He found out Big L had tried to get him robbed. Imagine arriving just in time to hear that your mentor had set you up. It's a crazy story, and Mase even has a whole song about it. He was saving it for a freestyle, but here's the lowdown. So, Big L tried to get Mase robbed. How did that happen? What led to such a betrayal? To understand, we need to go back to the first time this happened. Yes, it wasn't just one attempt, it was multiple times. If you check online, there's even a story about Fat Joe talking about the feud between Mase and Big L. Fat Joe mentioned a confrontation where Mase knocked Big L out, calling him a fake. Big L responded by bringing in some guys from the Bronx to confront Mase because he couldn't find anyone else. This all happened right when Mase was just starting to rise in the rap game. Before Mase hit it big, Big L was the man, taking them to places like Betos to rap. But once Mase started gaining fame, everything changed. The dynamic shifted and tension grew. Mase and Big L would often clash, leading to intense confrontations. One such time, Mase recalled, "You want to hear the story? Okay, I'll tell it. It's a tale of friendship turned rivalry, of a mentor's jealousy leading to betrayal. Big L, who once guided Mase, tried to sabotage his success. The streets talk about loyalty, but this story shows a different side. He started using some of my lyrics, particularly the complex compound rhymes I was known for. Where two words rhyme at the same time, not just matching the words, but the syllables too. So I called him out on it. Gruff, who was there, just laughed and said we needed to box it out. Gruff loved to stir things up, always egging people on. Gruff looked over and said, "Murder, there he is right there." We started talking, but the conversation quickly went south. Next thing I know, I'm at the Tunnel nightclub, and Fat Joe approaches me. For those who don't know, the Tunnel was a famous nightclub. Joe comes up, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Joe sees me and says, "I'm not doing anything to Mase. That's something between you and Big L." That was the first confrontation, but there's more to the story. For context, Big L and Fat Joe were part of a crew together, along with Lord Finesse and Buckwill, called Diggin' in the Crates. So, Fat Joe wasn't just randomly involved. Big L had called Joe and his crew, trying to escalate things.
Then one time I got set up, rest in peace, Big L comes up to me in the tunnel and he's like, "Yo, Crack, come bring your niggas, man. I got some beef, this. So we come, Big L's our brother, digging in the crates. And when I come up, it's fucking Mase. He's arguing with Mase. They from the same block. I'm like, I was hanging out with Mase the night before at Puffy's studio. Mase was looking at me like I was the greatest snake ever lived. Like, he's like, "For."
He even tried to get Party Artie involved, but I knew Party and his guys from basketball, so that wasn't going anywhere. Big L and I had been tight, rapping together and hitting up spots like Betos. But once I started gaining fame, everything changed. The vibe shifted, and jealousy crept in. One time, things got heated, and Big L tried to have me robbed. This wasn't a one-time thing. It happened multiple times. Fat Joe even talked about it online, saying I confronted Big L, calling him a fake. In response, Big L brought in some guys from the Bronx to confront me because he couldn't find anyone else. The tension grew as my career took off. Big L had been the man before, showing us the ropes and taking us to places to rap. But when I started getting on, the whole dynamic changed. The friendship turned into rivalry, and the jealousy turned into betrayal. Big L, who had once been a mentor, was now trying to sabotage my success. A few months later, another argument broke out, this time over a girl. The tension was high and things escalated quickly. On this particular day, everyone was hanging out on 39th Street, our usual spot. We were always moving between 39th and 40th, just chilling in the neighborhood. So we decided to head up to 40th Street. To give some perspective, Mase was leaving 40th Street to head somewhere else. He had just paid for the ice cream truck, so all the kids on 39th Street were getting free ice cream and wearing Mase Day t-shirts. Everyone was excited and running up to the block, shouting, "Yo, Mase is out there?" Mase had parked his car on 40th, and we were just walking through the neighborhood. He had his first iced-out Rolex on, proudly showing it off. As we turned the corner on 40th and walked up 7th Avenue to 41st, a Spanish guy suddenly appeared out of nowhere, yelling, give it up, I'm gonna kill both of y'all." He was with Shamgod at the time. The guy had Shamgod at gunpoint, but Mase was still free. Shamgod looked at Mase with a mix of fear and hope, like, "Don't leave me, bro." They were basketball players, used to communicating silently on the court, and now they were using that same skill to figure out what to do. Shamgod's eyes said, "I'm about to run," while Mace's look back said, "Don't leave me." The whole exchange happened in about 30 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. Mase didn't want to give up his first Rolex, but the situation was dire. Shamgod rubbed his stomach, their silent signal for, "Come on, don't leave me." Mase made a quick decision. He was going to take off the watch and throw it, hoping to distract the guy. The situation had escalated so fast, and they were now in a life or death standoff. The guy had cocked his gun, ready to shoot, and Mase had to act quickly. The seriousness of the situation hit hard when the gunman cocked his weapon. It was clear he meant business, and the danger was real. Shamgod was at gunpoint, and there was no way to let him get hurt. Slowly, the decision was made to take off the watch. Shamgod was tense, urging not to play around. The gunman was getting impatient, switching his aim back and forth. The watch was taken off, and thoughts raced the realization that they were caught in a dire situation. The watch was thrown towards the back of a car, aiming for it to bounce away. As soon as it hit the ground, they ran. Miraculously, the cops showed up from the left side just in time. Before the gunman could grab the watch, the police apprehended him. Despite the close call, the immediate concern was the watch. Shamgod was told, "You owe me. Man, I need my watch back." When the gunman was locked up, word spread quickly. Calls came in saying a guy in jail had mentioned the watch. The situation escalated behind bars, with the guy being beaten so badly that he confessed who was behind it. The shocking revelation was that Big L was involved. This betrayal was intense, given their history. Big L's involvement changed everything. It explained why Big L never made it to the top 5 rappers list from Harlem. This was more than just a street confrontation. It was a deep betrayal. The watch was eventually recovered from the police, who asked for a statement. But there was no way a statement would be made. The watch was left untouched for months as the demand for a statement lingered. The authorities wanted details to return the watch, but there was no way a statement would be made. The detective pressed, insisting on information in exchange for the watch. Still, no information was given, as staying silent was crucial. Despite the standoff, the watch was eventually returned. A week later, the shocking truth came out. Big L was behind the incident. This revelation shattered everything. The realization that Big L, a close figure, was the instigator was a heavy blow. The betrayal ran deep, leading to Big L's exclusion from top rapper lists from Harlem. The sense of hatred and jealousy was palpable, and it left a mark. Mase commented on this, underscoring why Big L was no longer a top 5 rapper. Despite time constraints, it was crucial to provide closure. Big L, despite his actions, was still considered a brother. The ties ran deep, and the shared history was undeniable. Harlem's dynamics were intricate. Different areas had distinct identities, and friendships often crossed these boundaries. The Mase was rooted in 40th and 39th Streets, yet he had connections all over Harlem. Mase's wide acceptance meant he was welcome, even when he wasn't physically around. He became a familiar face on different blocks. After nearly getting robbed, the tension of returning to that neighborhood was thick. The next day, the car was still there, a silent reminder of the incident. Mase talked about the aftermath, noting how things changed. Big L started hanging out on the other side of 39th Street. No one else knew the reason, but the shift was noticeable. Big L's move to the uptown side puzzled many, but those involved understood why. The presence of Big L on the other side of the street was like a silent admission. It was clear he was distancing himself, trying to act like nothing happened. Yet everyone knew the truth. The unspoken tension was palpable. Mase emphasized that these stories are real, regardless of how uncomfortable they might make some people. There's no reason to lie about the events that took place. Even Fat Joe had shared part of this story before. People might get mad hearing these truths, but it's essential to be honest about what went down. The details matter, especially when discussing how Big L tried to rob them. It wasn't just a baseless claim. It was a real event that had significant consequences. The past can't be changed, and the truth remains the truth, no matter how difficult it is for some to accept. There's another layer to the story involving Big L's brother. When he came home from jail, he tried to extort Mase. This adds another dimension to the complex relationship and the tension that existed. Mase mentioned doing a song about this incident, highlighting how music often serves as an outlet for these stories. In the upcoming freestyle, Mase planned to delve deeper into these experiences. Music isn't just a form of entertainment. It's a way to process and share personal history. The freestyle would set the stage, giving listeners more insight into what really happened. The truth behind these events is crucial, and it's essential to share it in a way that resonates with the audience. Back in those days, Harlem was blazing with energy and excitement. Everyone in jail felt like they were representing the neighborhood. Nothing could be taken lightly. Any incident was met with a firm that can't fly attitude. The whole place was buzzing, and loyalty was intense. Now, why was there frustration with Shamgod? He got caught when he was right next to Mase. The problem was that Shamgod was moving too slowly. Imagine someone dribbling a basketball and you tell them to hurry up. Shamgod was the one who got caught, not the others. It's like running from the cops. One person gets caught and says, "We're caught," but the others know they're not caught, just the slow one. Running through the streets, the smart ones know to zigzag between cars. They're not running in a straight line, making it harder for anyone to catch them. They're not like Ricky, who got shot in the back. They know better than to get caught like that. In a couple of hours, this story is going to be all over the place. Everyone will be talking about it. There are so many stories like this, countless moments that shape their experiences. It's always exciting to hear these tales, and sharing them keeps the memories alive. And let's not forget, Shamgod had his own perspective. He might say the others played too much, and that's why he doesn't like certain people. It's all part of the dynamic, the different sides of the story that make it even more interesting. According to Mase, in those days, Harlem was alive with action and stories. The intensity of representing the neighborhood, even from behind bars, created a bond and a sense of pride. Every incident was significant, and everyone had a role to play. The frustration with Shamgod was understandable. He got caught, and it felt like he was slowing things down. It's like playing a game and someone not keeping up. When you're running from trouble, quick thinking and fast moves are crucial. Those who know how to navigate the streets have the best chance of getting away. Guys, what do you think about these tales? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Then, check out this next video if you don't know that Gene Deal reveals why Diddy is still walking free. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't miss this next video.